Alliance, of course, as well as Team Liquid. They're going to be battling it out. My name is Mont. With me today is Blitz. We got a bunch of flamers, a bunch of ragers on the couch, a lot of Omni Night talk. It's nice to get into the game and see some good Dota, though. That's for damn sure. Yeah, just so that our couch doesn't have to talk anymore and we save the viewers now. Just messing. Just jokes, guys. It's just a prank. All right, but they don't actually get the... Okay, they split runes, actually. And this is something that we saw a lot coming into this tournament. S4 kept playing the Batrider, and we're seeing it here again in the mid lane. And at first, it didn't work out for them. Like, the first few tournaments that I saw them work, no. But it really feels like they're starting to make this hero work. Which is crazy. It feels like they're one of the few teams that play it, especially in the mid-roll. Like, nobody plays it in this particular matchup, so it'll be nice to see. Hopefully he can get some farm, get an early blink tagger. But they have, on the other side of the silencer, they have some really good ways to stop him from blinking in and lassoing. They can stop them from using the song if they get some good lockdown. I think the key to this game is going to be this aggro dual lane. Bulldog now with the 1 point decay. We'll go for the tombstone eventually. We'll see how that pans out. And I think the biggest thing is the support mine at Squap. We saw support less from him yesterday. How is a Quap going to work out in this situation? I think it just trades well because you need something that can right-click that won't necessarily have to take farm away. And you can just grab the Shadow Strike early as a lead. And it doesn't matter if the hero dies, but it's pretty interesting because this is something that we don't see very often because Quap as a mid laner or a safe laner is so strong. But this mid lane, I'm really excited. I haven't seen a Fada Beastmaster in a really long time. And this is one of his, when he was on C9 anyways, it was one of his staple heroes. You can even actually get Boots of Travel on the PL and have him rotate in onto one of the boars or something like that if they really wanted to. If they go for the Boots of Travel build on the PL, I'm not sure what Matama Man will build in this situation. But I want to talk about, though, they do have a lot of damage up at the top lane for Liquid, but not much catch. So Bulldog will take some damage and maybe he'll go down, but Mindnuts, there's really no situation unless they're fighting that he should fall. But there will be some skirmishes here and there. Bottom lane is going to be mostly free farm, I'd imagine, for Loda. Going up against the Tusk, who's already low in HP, sitting at, what, maybe 20-30% of his life. They're going to contest the top rune. Mindnuts is going to help out S4 grab that rune, and Fox will head back mid with his double boar. Expectedly so. It's actually pretty even. The boar at level 1 is also super weak, so that's going to be some extra gold for S4 if he can get some sticky napalm stacks or what have you. He's actually rotated the Queen of Pain over just to kind of help out a little bit, make sure that the Beastmaster is as contested as possible. And the timing kind of coincides nicely, but no. Dear God. They get the vision, they snowball, they throw up the axes, and that's first blood. He was already low in health, and then he just, I don't know what he was doing there. Trying to spot out the rune, see if he could deny it from that high ground vision, but unable to do so. The good news for them, though, is that Loda's getting pretty much uncontested free farm. Right. And this was during TI4. If Alliance back to the wall, it was the Naga pick. I can't remember the last time he played Naga, though. It feels like it's been a while. It probably has, and I'm sure he's played it recently, but it just doesn't feel like he plays that often. I mean, he plays so many different heroes. That's the thing. He plays like everything. I think it was just one of the heroes that he felt most comfortable on for a really long time. And it's not something you really forget, even if you haven't played it in a bit. And it is one of your back-to-the-wall heroes. Like, Radiance carriers are always one of those, how do you really beat them in the long-run scenarios? Because you can just kind of rat all day, and nobody can really keep up with you when it comes to farm. And then they got Octarine Core in the game. Great item, honestly. You know, just really I love that split push. It's my favorite thing in the world. Top lane, Bulldog, taking some harass. But Matama Man's getting free farm as well, though. So this aggro dual lane, it's doing some damage, but it's not really accomplishing anything. They're not getting kills. You know, the experience from Mindnuts, he rotated out to give him Admiral Bulldog a bit more experience, but he's not really getting that much either. He's level 3. Meanwhile, Mind Control already has an assist. He has died once, and he actually might die here. They even leveled up in the Snare. There's the Riptide. Did they have the damage? Ice Shards will go. Loda actually in a little bit of trouble here, but good concussive shot from Ake. That'll allow Loda to escape. And then the Arcane Bolt will secure the kill for the Skywrath Mage on Ake. Yeah, that was a lot closer than I thought it'd be, but Alliance, I mean, they still had some mana left on Ake, so that wasn't really in question. Like, the Tusk was out of mana, he didn't really have any follow-up, everything was on cooldown, but they did have to kind of contest him at some point, because he was getting a lot more out of the lane than he needed to. You're completely right there. And this dual lane, it's going to get a lot more successful, like their lanes overall, because of that kill. So now they don't have to feel this top lane's as pressured because they got the kill on the offlaner. I guess the bad news for them, though, is that Matama Man is still free farming. And if there is a hero that can kind of keep up with the farming potential,
it's going to be a PL.
Oh my god.
So fast.
That was... There wasn't even a tombstone there for half a second before they killed it. Just give him some free gold, it's fine. And Bulldog's also in super low in health. He'll decay. Only actually gets the single decay. But Man will find him, go into the tree line, says, screw the creep wave, I'll take the kill. And actually, it's going to be Kuroki picking it up, so get some intelligence going his way, some of the glaives. But yeah, I mean, this aggro dueling is just not doing as much as I thought it would. But then again, this is a very strong tri-lane from Liquid's side, so.
It is, and it was pretty surprising that Bulldog decided to die there, but at top, Kuro's going to go down.
He's
actually dead.
Oh, great golden brace. He's going to stay alive. There's the Splinter Blast as well. Can they turn this? But Man doesn't have Spirit Lance for another 3 seconds. Held back away. Kuroki shouldn't be alive right now. He walked under the tower willingly as there were TP rotations coming in. He's lucky Drax is such a goddamn player.
I mean, he copped like 4 hits in a row. I really thought he was going to go down there, and that was definitely a positional misplay. Like, you shouldn't have to rely on your Winter Wyvern getting that off. Like, that was a little bit risky.
It's just him walking under the tower. That's just a misclick. That has to be a misclick.
I think he was like trying to get what is it called? The glaive off, and then just got hit by it. I don't really quite know. But
this could be huge, but Snowball's going to turn it around. They're going to go on Ake instead. They actually just want to get out with the lasso. Already up for S4. Vata in trouble. Flame break as well. Not needed. They don't have the mana for it either. It's actually just the Firefly doing most of the damage. And S4 will grab a kill on Vata. That is huge. Now he's up to 1,400 gold. He could buy his Tranquils, but more than likely, he's just going to save up for his Blink Dagger and go to work. This is going to be maybe an 8-9 minute Blink Dagger, which we haven't seen since, you know, back in the day. Maybe once or twice since then, but really, that's going to be huge for S4.
Yeah, the jungle camps got a little bit worse to farm, and it's just naturally going to be a little bit harder for S4. I don't really think he has to go for any other item, and he's one of those purveyors of going for the Blink first, even when he plays heroes like Puck or the Mag. Oftentimes, he'd skip the upgraded boots just to do so. And if you're going to get it this quickly, why not? Like, you could really disrupt the tri-lane up at top by just rotating 1 or 2 more heroes with you and get control of that safe lane at the same time and put some pressure on Man because you want your Naga to be slightly more farmed than him, so when the Radiance timing comes, Liquid are going to feel pressured to have to do stuff. But if your Bat Rider gets a Blink Dagger that quickly, what do you actually do against that?
Yeah. There's not much you can do to stop that from happening. The Blink Lasso will come, Man will get caught. They have enough damage to bring him down, Tombstone as well as everything else. And he's got to take a Jungle Camper 2 for S4. He's headed over there into his Radiant side, and he'll be fine. He actually needs to go get mana. TP top lane, that'll be from Myonuts, Man, and the rest of the squad working on this tower. Myonuts actually gets Arctic burned. I don't know how far they're willing to dive. Last word, and the Spirit Lance, not enough damage. Illusion won't be able to clean him up just yet. Kuroki has to back away as the Tombstone is doing some solid work. So a bit of a trade back and forth. They haven't taken the tier 1 tower. Bulldog saves the life of
125 gold.
Myonuts literally just TP'd into the tower and then just walks back home.
All right, so the illusions are actually wrecking Bulldog right now.
Yeah.
If you notice, he threw one of the Lance illusions at the Tombstone, 125 gold for free. What do you actually do against that? Instead of dying, just.
So what's happening then is that it's like the one hit counts for you know, from an illusion.
One, yeah.
That seems
off, right?
It seems a little flawed. I'm going to be honest with you. That doesn't seem right. And I never really.
You don't think about that, and then you see a PL just 2-shot it, and you're just like, all right, that dive's useless now.
Yeah. And it doesn't even matter that he's going to get it leveled up. It's still going to go down, and you know, a couple hits from the frickin' illusions. All right, that seems broken. PL, all right, good counter to Undying.
Because the thing is, most of the time the Tombstone, in some ways, it's better now because the damage, you don't just get a one-shot in the late game.
Right.
But when you're playing against a PL, it's kind of awful at all phases of the game. But that's not really why you're going to grab it. It's going to be a pretty good positional tool. Like when you fight around the Roche Pit or when you want to get into straight pushes, it's still a nice tool to have out there. It's just going to be difficult for Alliance to keep it up when the Phantom Lancer just like doppelgangs once, sends all the illusions on top of it. It's going to be really hard to keep it alive.
I mean, if you could somehow keep the PL back and away, but then you've probably won the fight already. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do in that situation to make sure your Tombstone stays alive. You really just have to position it well. And there was a game, I believe it was yesterday. I can't remember between who.
Oh, Ake is so dead.
Yeah, he just got roared. He's done. This song, are they going to try to turn this?
Oh, he's going to get stunned?
Oh, no. The TP is not out in time. He has to go under the tower, and they're probably going to dive this. There's the Ice Shark. They don't quite connect, and Mind Control will now break off pursuit. Loda is lucky to be alive. So that happened. Ake actually just gets blown up. Loda will go back to farming, though. There are 4 heroes down bottom as we speak as well. So But this is going to give some room for Bulldog to get some extra experience and gold in the top lane. While that's happening, though, the PL just goes to the jungle and farms. He's got the 1,200 gold. If he wants to go bots, he's not too far away from them. Minuts is going to take the mid lane farm, getting that level 6. That's actually going to be a decent amount of damage they have going their way. It's a lot like the Leshrac he played the other day. You know, it's just a lot of essentially magic damage that's going to work pretty well once they start getting into team fights, if they want to.
All right, so Fada's going to go get this regen rune. He's already made a fair amount of rotations right now, getting that kill on Ake, and he's got a kill of his own. He's going to go for the Necrobook 3 first. Pretty standard. I think going for the Blink first, or I think I used to see Dendi get the Ags. I don't like either of those builds. I feel like the Necrobook 3 just allows you to take a lot of map control, and it ruins your life as a support. But he's going to pressure this mid tower pretty heavily, and the Bat Rider, they should smoke here at bottom and try to make an excursion into this bottom lane and then push it down. Create some space for Lota, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
But Liquid are backing off as this is happening. There was a Dire and Observer Ward, but that's I don't think it spotted the smoke. It might have spotted them rotate towards bottom. Nah, I don't think they were close enough, but they're missing off the map a couple heroes. Liquid know that something's up, and they know that it's around 10 minutes, and S4 has had a great time. They have an understanding that the Blink Dagger could be up online.
Yeah, that's why you're seeing them all group up. But even that excursion into that bottom lane was just them kind of keep strength in numbers so that Mind Control could get the counter initiation off.
Oh, this is a bait. This seems like a bait.
Yeah,
S4 wants to go in.
Far in.
They're going to find Fatsa with the lasso. Can they get the Golden Brace off? That's a beautiful time, and they get the silence with the Ancient Seal. Now there's going to be the snowball. S4 going to get caught out. Will he go down? Gets to the other side of the river and will actually stay alive. TP's coming up from Mind Control, taking a lot of damage. There's the decay, and he will make it out with just about 10 HP or so. The Shadow Strike not taking him down. And in the end, with everything exchanged, there's no dead bodies on the map in that mid lane. And all the while, the farmers continue to farm.
I really thought that S4 was going to go down there. Like, that was so well played by Liquid. They were on the ball. They immediately heal up their Beastmaster, but unfortunately he couldn't really get into the fight. There was no chance of re-engaging for them. And I guess Alliance overall are lucky to walk away with no casualties. Like, they had to blow the Queen of Pain ult for that, and they still didn't grab a kill. I feel like that's kind of a slight net loss for them. That's a support Queen of Pain that doesn't really do anything, like, damage-wise. You have to get your ulti off.
Yep. I'll just have to wait 80 seconds before that's up and effective again. And Fatsa's doing a great job. Like you talked about, the Necrobook also helping against the Tombstone, so that's just another counter they have going their way. I'm surprised they didn't go top and look for Matamba Man and try to lasso him and try to kill him with, you know, maybe an extra hero. At least, this is what you were talking about, slowing down the PL's farm and making it so the Naga Siren is more effective. But he continues to farm the jungle. Lota is pushing top, however, while this is all happening. And looks like they might set up for a gank bottom. There's a great Observer Ward here from the Radiant squad. And Jirax will deward it. However, the vision is they've already been seen. So they'll back away, maybe think about going for it. S4 looking for Matamba Man. Does he have lasso up? He does. Spirit Lance will go. There's the Flame Break. He's slowed up. Now the Snowball coming in. Mind Control will find him. And it's going to be the Ice Shards. He just flies right over them. He doesn't care. But the Roar comes through, and Fatsa with the axes. Last right click. Mind Control will get it done. And S4 just behind the tier 2 tower. I could get this kill. Not a problem. No. Down bottom, concussive shot, Darax, Shadow Strike. Ancient Seal, he will get the Arctic Burn off, but it's not going to do anything. Minuts will help get the kill, and the last right click from Ake will do the job. So support duos grab a kill on the other support on the side of Liquid. So 3-4, not the most exciting game in the world, and it won't get any more exciting with a Naga Siren in the PL. Looking forward to it.
I mean, I think it's tense so far. I think the map movement from both teams is quite interesting, like how they're dodging and how they're avoiding it. Lota's going to sleep to get out. Doesn't really want to deal with Fada, who has the haste rune. But I think this is just going to be a lot more of a positional game. Alliance is kind of playing over-aggressive with S4. When he made the trip into the jungle, I think the point was to try to find one hero, see if he could just annoy a little bit and slow down the farm of Matamba Man. But he just over-committed a little bit. Like, I feel like you really shouldn't die there, because that's so deep into the jungle.
I mean, he was close. He could have lassoed, maybe have gotten the kill, but yeah, they had quick rotations. Liquid were in a good spot, and they've actually done a great job of warding up the Radiant jungle. There's two really well-placed wards here. They're both pretty new. This one's extremely fresh on the side of Liquid, and they have one deeper in the jungle as well. So they have a great vision, as I say that. Well, there's the sentry, so Liquid are going to go anyways. They'll try to. They didn't have a smoke, though. No blink either to initiate with the Roar, so they won't be able to find anything. They're instead going to head bottom, and it looks like there might be a trade or a sack tower. The big thing too was the sleep and TP out means that Loda is losing farm. And I don't think Matoma Man has stopped farming since the game started. Maybe he's gone to a couple of jungle camps, but he's still getting farm consistently. He's got his boots of travel now. He can rotate. So let's fight mid. Snowball. Global will go. S4. Walrus punch. Minot's in trouble. There's the Axis bringing him down. Last word will do the job. The Glade's going to work as well. They pop the Tombstone. This thing's going to get blown up fast. It'll do some damage to mind control, but it's donezo. Fata can't chase any further. No blink, no haste rune, but this will allow them to go for tier 1 tower mid. They all rotated. They were going to take the tier 1 tower bottom, but instead they'll put some pressure on that and then go towards mid here.
I really like that decision by Liquid. I don't think they should go for the standard 1-for-1 trades, especially if it's your mid tower and you've got a hero like Phantom Lancer that heavily relies on the jungle. I think it's on you to actually take that fight. And they've got so many different ways to. Like, you still have Jerax with the Winner's Curse. They didn't even have to expend that to win that fight. And on top of that, like, Kuro's Global Silence was beautiful. Like,
yeah.
At that point, Liquid or Alliance had no way to fight that. And on top of that, Matoma Man rotated in for that fight. They dominated. They know, like you said, the Naga sleep is down. And at the same time, Matoma Man is A, helping you in fights, and B, like you said, again, he's just nonstop farming. Like, he actually hasn't quit farming the entire time. Whereas Loda's been forced, like, in and out. He's been forced to come to fights. And they can't really win a fight without his sleep.
Here's the difference. Well, I'll get to that in a second as Jerax is going to get ensnared. And maybe they can finally find a kill. He'll try to TP away. Flame break. They'll just use the last hit for it. And they'll find a support. So Jerax goes down. I'm sure he's fine with that. Space created or some shit. Doesn't really matter either way. But here's the difference. Matoma Man has, what's the cooldown on this spell? Let's look real quick. 15-second cooldown on his W ability, which makes it pretty easy for him to get out. What's the cooldown on Song? 120 seconds. Who's going to survive more in these situations?
Yeah.
You have to play more carefully as the Naga Siren in almost any situation because of it. But, I mean, the upside is you could set up fights. You could farm pretty quickly with Riptide. It's a mixed bag. Ake will get caught out, and he'll take the last word in the Curse of the Silent, but he's fine regardless. That's a Necro 2 being picked up for the Beastmaster. So Necro 3 is going to be pretty huge. So it's 4-6 the score. We haven't actually talked about net worth graph or where we're at, but it's actually relatively even. But I think once this PL starts getting going, maybe you see some changes to that graph.
Yeah, in the XP column, you see Alliance have a pretty significant advantage, and I think that just comes from them taking a little bit of farming trades, but at the same time, the Phantom Lancer, he just has been farming the jungle nonstop, so his XP isn't going to be as good as the Naga's. At the same time, though, I don't know. I think that the Phantom Lancer, once he has his Diffusal Blade, he can help out so much sooner than the Naga can. I think even if Loda gets his Radiance, it's not going to matter too much because you still have the Global Silence, you have the Winner's Curse. You've got a lot of different ways to deal with him before he gets his Manta. I feel like that's the item that makes Alliance okay.
Ooh, Winner's Curse is out. S4 from moving forward. Croaky, Mystic Flare, and they will bring him down with the Arcane Bolt on top of it. Just enough damage there. It was a good Winner's Curse to stop him in his tracks. However, a gank's a gank. They will get the kill, and they should get this tier 1 tower on top of it as well. The PL not rotating down. He'll farm top while this is all happening. So, tower trade's happening. 5-6. Glyph will go, but nice kill.
Yeah, and they don't really want to take that fight without their Phantom Lancer. And you need your global as well. If it's actually if Kuro's gonna be the hero that gets initiated on, then S4 has the best time of his life, because what really scares you if you're Alliance, we talked about this in the draft area, is when S4 blinks in, jumps on any other hero that's on him, you have the easiest global setup in the world. Like, you're always gonna global after that.
Roar on the backside. They're going to find out S4, but I think he popped the Invis rune. They do have the Necro, but they don't have Necro 3. The Global Silence will come out. Minot's getting diffused. They already have the Diffusal Blade up, and Matoma Man, with the help of his squad, will go to town. They'll take him and the tier 1 tower. Grab 2 heroes quickly. S4 just trying to delay as much as possible with the Flame Break. Ake can't really do much, and Loda's like, I am not anywhere close to farming. His Radiance is almost done, but you get the boots of travel, you now have a Diffusal Blade, Matoma Man is ready to go. He'll be with his team. Sure, he'll want to farm, but it's time to fight as well.
Yeah, I like the decision by Liquid to bring everybody there, and this is something that we talked about again in the mid game, where if Matoma Man decides that they want to take a fight, they're going to win that fight, because the Naga Siren just isn't going to risk it whatsoever. When you have a hero like Naga or Spec or anything like that, where your Radiance timing is so crucial and the build up to the item takes so long, you're never going to risk a fight. You're just going to farm. It's the better option to do, and Alliance have done a pretty good job of delaying and taking mini skirmishes around the map without losing too much. But at the same time, Alliance have to realize that this Phantom Lancer will come to every major engagement because of the boots of travel and because he has so many heroes to back him up. Like, Global Silence gets popped, he feels invincible. Whereas Lota does not have that same security or freedom.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's going to come down to split push for Lota, whereas with Matamba Man and all the team fight they have, they could just kind of push your base and force you back. And in some situation, Lota will have to defend, I think, eventually. I mean, he'll be able to do a good job split pushing when he gets his mantle, when he gets his Doctrine Core. But I want to ask you about, you know, Matamba Man versus Lota in the late game, and even talk about the intangibles, the team fights. Like, where does it go from here now that Lota has his Radiance?
I think you just continue to create space for Lota. Look for mini pickoffs using the Batrider. I feel like that's why the Batrider was picked. Because when you have these late game heroes, it's not actually about playing purely defensive. It's about getting those mini pickoffs where you don't lose anything in return constantly. Like, you get one hero, you get out. If you trade one for one, as long as it's not a core, great. And I think that Lota will always have in mind that he should be going for the split push until he's got at least like 2 or 3 items. Because I feel like without the Manta style, the Global Silence rips him apart. And even with the Manta style, the Winter's Curse is something that he has to worry about too. Like, he has so many more things to worry about than Matamba Man. Matamba Man's just like, all right, I'll just use my W and I'm good.
Good spell, good ability. They're going to head towards the Roche Pit. They're actually going to head towards the bottom jungle. Smoke of Deceit. Bulldog might be the one caught. They have to. Yeah, that Dire Observer Ward is going to be a nightmare for Bulldog. Walrus Punch, they have the last word. He'll drop the Tombstone down. I don't know if that was necessary.
He was dead.
Yeah, he was pretty dead. I could understand maybe popping a Necro 3 even, but actually, no.
No, he was like
he was just dead
dead.
anyways.
Yeah. Maybe they were worried that somebody would, even then, I feel like that's even more reason not to use your Roar. But it's kind of irrelevant.
Whatever.
The cooldown on it is so low.
1 minute left, I think. So, Minuts is going to split push mid. They're going to invade the enemy jungle, which is what Liquid's already done to them. I want to point out that this series, they played previously, I think. They played it on the first day of the matches in the EU qualifier, and as far as I remember, Alliance got stomped rather.
Yeah, they got 2-0'd pretty hard.
So, Liquid are, I think, pretty confident in this matchup. They've drafted well. They have a good lineup. And we've already talked at length about the Global and the Winter's Curse. There are some people that think the support Silencer maybe not the best support in the world, but in this situation, I think this is a great pickup. And he's already got 14 Stolen Intelligence as well. He's going to start hitting hard pretty soon. He only has Tranquils and Urn. He doesn't have any right-clicking items whatsoever. Not that he'll get them, but I'm very concerned for Alliance. And it's going to be back to the old split pusheroo from Lota, so
I think that's what you have to rely on at this point. Like, I think that the Naga Siren is what keeps you in the game, because when you have a support duo like a Queen of Pain and a Skywrath, that's paper. Like, that's not going to stand up very well. Like, you'd almost always want a Silencer and the Winter Wyvern over that. Like, those are heroes that their abilities scale into the late game. Like, Global Silence and Winter's Curse is always going to be useful, whereas the Queen of Pain is just going to fall off a cliff at some point. And same with the Skywrath. Once BKB start to come out, once the Phantom Lancer has his Manta, you're not really going to be able to survive in Alliance. They're getting chased back, but
do they want to do this?
This is the big fight for them, actually.
This could be big. They drop the Tombstone down now. They're looking to go on. They're thinking about it. Sonic Wave will go, and they'll hit a couple of heroes as well. The Tusk Ice Shards will separate them nicely. There's the Roar coming out. Bulldog is low. They've already lost Ake. Winter's Curse on S4, and the Global comes out as well. 4 staff down from S4 onto the low ground. Drax chasing after, but Tubba Man in trouble. Minuts won't grab the kill just yet. Another Spirit Lance coming through. Diffusal Blade just to make sure he's got all the debuffs off of him. Flame Break, not enough damage. It is a 3-for-1 trade. Lota chased after the Wyvern, I believe, or somebody way up into the north, into this top lane. Matamba Man, the Radiance
he's going to go down.
Okay, they will kill him. I was concerned they weren't going to find him. The blink away. Now on the other side, Fata in trouble.
I think Kur's going to go down too.
Lota's just now going to work.
All right, Lota, Dota.
He just like sits out of the fight for the entirety of the song, the entirety of the Winter's Curse. Then he just chases after one hero, heads back into the fight, gets like 3 kills. That's huge, and I don't believe Minuts died either. That picks him up a Yule Scepter as well. Okay, all right.
All right, that fight, I really thought Liquid was just going to stop.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty much over as soon as the Silencer survived throughout the burst damage. But Lota's illusion control was absurd. Like, he sent illusions on 3 different heroes. He made sure that they were always on one of the supports to make sure that he was going to mop up kills. And he just played the back and forth game. And now look at how far ahead he is. He's actually level 15 right now. He's got so much farm in the game, and although the rest of his heroes didn't contribute that much, they didn't have to. Like, the Batrider kind of just got chased back the entire time. Like, half of his team got chased back, and Loda's illusions just kind of went to town.
That was a clowny fight. At one point, they're just sitting here. They're all sitting in this point, and everyone's just like fleeing in different directions. There's a guy going that way. The supports from Liquid are going that way. Loda's just, I'm out of here. I'm going up here.
Liquid killed that tombstone in 2 hits. I thought for sure that was just going to be a destroyed fight.
It's so disappointing, too, because Undying has been so strong in this particular meta. I think in this particular tournament. We saw it yesterday as well. And I feel like with the dual lane, they wanted to snowball. They wanted to get that Quap an early item, and they wanted. I guess they did succeed by getting her the Yules at 24 minutes. I mean, it's not that early, but the snowball is not quite there, and it feels like it's almost a contradiction with their draft. They have one person who just wants to farm for a while, and then they have a couple heroes that want to fight pretty early on. But it is 4 protect 1 kind of draft, so.
Yeah, and it's working out right now. Like, Loda has a massive amount of farm, especially killing the Phantom Lancer. That was the biggest thing. If he doesn't get away with the Phantom Lancer kill, I feel like that fight is kind of evenish, but because of that, it alleviates so much pressure from Alliance. And plus, it makes Liquid think twice. Like, every time you take one of those fights, it just kind of puts some doubt into the other team's mind where they're considering, how did this fight go so wrong? What can we do differently? Whereas Alliance are like, wow, that fight went terribly and we still won. Like, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong and we still won that fight. Like, they have to be really satisfied with that. But eventually, the Naga Siren, the Phantom Lancer is going to catch up. He's going to deal a lot of damage with his illusions. Obviously, like, Radiance is going to be the superior item for now, but eventually the Phantom Lancer will catch up, and that's why Alliance are just looking to play a little bit more aggressively.
Well, they don't have any wards in the jungle. I think they had 1 de-warded with the sentry up there, but their own jungle is warded pretty heavily as well. There's a gem picked up for Kuroki, so they have some extra vision on the map, make sure they can take map control pretty heavily so that the aggressive play style from Alliance that they might want to get off can't actually occur. There will be a haste rune picked up for Loda. They thought about Roshan, they smoked in there, and then they just backed out. They said, I don't think we should do this. Let's not push ourselves here. They had a great fight. They'll sit back, they'll farm for a bit. Another gem picked up, so 2 in the span of a minute. This one for MyNuts. So map control is the name of the game currently, making sure you have that vision, especially around the Roche pit. And Loda continues to split push bottom, or top rather, and bottom lane Fato will do the job here for his team.
He's got an unbelievable amount of farm right now. He's about to complete an Octarine Core Radiance Travels at 26 minutes into the game. Really, really good timing for him right now. He's almost a full, he actually is 130 GPM above the Phantom Lancer, if you want to take a look at it that way. And this is going to be pretty brutal for them because when you go for these 5-mans, all Loda has to do is send his illusions, farm out your own jungle, and you've got no wards there. And he's just going to be a lot more efficient than the Phantom Lancer is at this point.
Do you think that that fight was what put him so far ahead?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was just because once you take a fight like that, it really stops Liquid in their tracks. Because before, Liquid were just dominating every fight. But as soon as Loda comes in with his travels, with his Radiance, and they take a fight like that where they can set up, they're going to feel their confidence is going to be through the roof.
God, his positioning, I can't tell if it was a mistake or if he was chasing somebody, but the fact that he wasn't in the front of the engagement where he wouldn't get roared, he couldn't, he didn't have to deal with the Winter's Curse, he wasn't getting chased down, that allowed him just to withstand all of the pressure. Matubba was in the brunt of it for the most part.
Yeah, he was trying to just deal damage to whoever he could, but he took so much damage from the Firefly and the fact that he kept trying to chase Loda down with like 300 health, and granted, or S4 I mean, and granted he got the kill, but
it's not worth it.
Yeah, he took so much damage as a result, and this is a level 17 Naga with Octarine Core.
I mean, if any other person than Loda gets that kill, or if like Loda's dead during that fight,
yeah, exactly,
that's probably fine. But
like Liquid are going to feel great after that, but especially you give a kill to a Naga who got it pretty much solo when you mop up the rest of the team. Like, he got a triple kill that fight.
Yep.
And now he has an
Octarine Core.
He's just going to push down. He's incredibly strong.
My favorite item on Naga. So fun. What's the illusion cooldown? Let's see. 30 seconds. He doesn't have a Mantis Sal yet, so this is only the beginning.
This is the most frustrating thing for an enemy team to play
This is like a Broodmother almost.
Yeah, it's even worse because the Broodmother Broodlings don't deal as much damage to supports, and they heal also.
All right, mind control's going in. He walrus punches the global. The global is a bit too late to the party. The tombstone's on the deck. Kuroki's already at half health. They're going to snowball back. Mind control will get away. The glimmer cape will go. The tombstone's actually doing work, and Kuroki's going to get blown up. The Sonic Wave bringing another hero down. The mech, they're diving past the tier 2. They're diving past the tier 3. Fata gets destroyed by MyNuts. They finally will Winter's Curse load it down. But at this point, Liquid are getting overrun in Alliance. They say, listen, we know we got beat 2-0 by you, but we're about to just 4-man wipe you. Jirax barely limping away. No, sir. The Ensnare will come out the Riptide. He's done so. The last hero that's alive, Matubba is He's not looking back. He's farming mid. He says, you guys do whatever. I'm not fighting that.
This support Queen of Pain is like the most hilarious thing ever. Like how ownage it is, like, and how much it's been able to do. Like that urn, he just kind of blinks around, bothers a lot of people. They're not really being able to start the fights because they just, because of this early Octarine Core and Radiance, they're forced on the back foot instantly, and they have to use all of their abilities defensively. Because you don't really want to use the Global Silence and the Winner's Curse just on one target heroes. You want to use it to set up a fight, and they just haven't been able to do that anymore. And Loda's just going to reset the fight, uses the sleeps, going to TP out. The cooldown on it is so low! He just barely gets out.
Mind control. Damn. So close. No Cigar, Little will hit top, and oh, guess what? It's more farming. And the only good news for Liquid is that Matumba Man was farming that entire time. Top lane, there was a roar, actually. Loda just not taking any damage right now. That Octarine Core helps twofold because it just makes him tankier as well. The Quap will get out and just blink towards that secret shop, so Matumba Man will continue to farm, but...
Yo, this support Quap just saved his life.
Yep.
This thing's so ownage. I'm actually certain it's kind of weird and wonky, but they're making it work just on the back of really good Naga play. And this is what I meant. I feel like this is Loda's bread and butter hero. This is the hero that, back to the wall, you're going to want to play this if you're Loda. It's kind of like the Nature's Prophet, Admiral Bulldog kind of style, but it feels even more iconic to me. Like when I think of Naga, I really do think of Loda or maybe like Miracle from Sea or something like that. But Alliance, they know how to play around it. All of their players just seem to kind of feel fluid in their movements. Like the Bat, played by S4, he just kind of YOLOs in. He doesn't really care because he knows that there's always going to be his teammates behind him. And he knows that Loda's going to use the song at the appropriate time.
I think the point that you made earlier where as long as you're getting those, little one-man pickoffs or even defending your towers, even staying in the game, as long as you're not getting your racks pushed at, 20 minutes into the game, you're doing a good job. You're not just getting farm, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, 5 to 8 when you've been taking fights 4v5, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, your Naga's farming more overall. There was a time period where the Phantom Lancer was ahead, but after that top engagement, everything just kind of fell apart for Liquid.
Yep. Loda's able to farm faster now with the Radiance of the Octarine Core. Matumba Man is going to struggle to keep up for a period of time. I mean, let's be honest, Appeal is a fast farmer, but he's not as fast as the Radiance Naga. I don't think really many are.
With the Octarine Core, you're not keeping up. The good news, though, is you're going to keep up in levels because she's using her illusions to farm. Like, in that regard, the Phantom Lancer's still okay, but he needs a lot more for them to contest fights because his supports just aren't very tanky. Like, you've got a Glimmer Cape on Jerax, but he doesn't have a lot of levels. And you've only got an Urn up on Kuro. Like, on the flip side, Ake's got a Force Staff, but 700 HP, it doesn't matter because he's playing back anyways. And this, support Queen of Pain has, a Point Booster, a Yule Scepter, and a Force Staff.
But it goes back to what we talked about before, though, what you expressed in saying that you'd rather have Global Silence and maybe even Winner's Curse than what they have. But the unfortunate thing is you wouldn't have it over what they've got now for Minuts and what they have for for Ake. I mean... It's just too much. Last one's going to go. They're going to find out Mind Control, and it's a Snowball try to stay alive, but I don't see him surviving in this situation. There's 4 heroes, and he just came to the wrong neighborhood. He'll lose his Ice Sigil as well. Frozen Sigil, excuse me. Matumba Man will Doppelganger away top lane while he's trying to split push, but... So they have a dead Mind Control for 35 seconds. What does he have? He has a Blink Dagger Medallion. It's not like he's doing that badly either. I think going back to some of these fights, the Global is maybe just a little bit too slow, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it's feasible to get it off before the lasso.
It's hard to time in a game like this just because it doesn't really... It's not easy to kind of pinpoint where you want to use it. Because even if you use it defensively, the Naga's so strong that she just chases you down. And once it's down, just runs at you. And there's nothing else that you can really put out. I almost feel like the Winner's Curse is 10 times more important here. That they get it off appropriately. Because that's really what makes the difference in these fights. And Matumba Man, he's just going to get out. There's a lot of illusions here. Alliance don't really want to fight into this if they can help it. But I think Radiance as an item is just so powerful. That's why we see those Alks get it early and then just take fights left and right. The mischance on top of the fact that you just destroy supports. That's the main thing that happened at that top fight. It was just the supports got destroyed by Radiance plus 1 Riptide. Killed everybody.
You get an early enough Radiance against squishy-ass heroes, and it's just going to own you. Sonic Wave, Mind Control, not again. You just died. Oh, God.
Ganked by the illusion. I don't know. This support Queen of Pain really paid off just because of how far ahead they are. And the mobility of the hero is just making it really difficult for Liquid to get pickoffs to get back into the game. I feel like playing passively is not the way back into the game. Like, the way they were able to beat Alliance in that first game that was really close versus Alliance when Liquid picked the Phantom Lancer was they were able to create space around the map for the Phantom Lancer to split push. And then eventually it got so huge that it didn't matter, but Alliance just hard counter with picking their own late game core.
I mean, they have an entire bag of tricks that they can delve into. And not that Liquid can't, but Alliance just seems to have an answer to almost every solution. That answer doesn't always work, but it's working in this game. I also want to talk about Fata. I just feel like his impact has been pretty much nothing. And that's not to, you know, slight Fata. I've always said he's one of the best mids. I've enjoyed watching him personally, and I'm a pretty big Fata fanboy, but this game is not really his game. He gets a roar off in a fight, he pops his Necro 3, and then he kind of dies.
Yeah, I think it's more the limitation of the hero. And again, it just goes back to that one fight that they lost. If that fight had gone well for them, then he gets to play even more aggressively. But as a result, unable to do so, and they grab Matuma Man!
That's probably the worst person that you could get grabbed if you're like, but he actually still stays alive. He's got his Doppelganger of Manta first, so Doppelganger up to the high ground. They did throw out that global silence, which is pretty huge. Mind Control takes a big soul rip, and they're actually pretty low. And Minus is just right-clicking away at this range racks. Range rack's not a big deal, but if they lose this melee racks as well, it's going to be trouble. The illusions will come in and make sure they zone everybody back. They can't defend this, it feels like. The Flesh Golem is up. Sure, the Tombstone's not there. There's no threat of a lasso at the very least, but this is going to be tough. Matuma Man will come forward. Minus in the tree line, blinks away from the Spirit Lance, and now Matuma Man has to clean up all of these illusions. The melee rack will heal. Meanwhile, there's the Roar on the other side of the fight. Doesn't do much.
All right, Roar's down now too. They don't have Roar, they don't have Global Silence.
Yeah. They have Winter's Curse, that's it. They're so low. They can't really heal through all of this. There's just too much. Matuma Man's sitting at less than half HP. They have to go back home. They have to give this racks up, and they're going to. The illusions are just going to chop this down. There's nothing they could do. Alliance are already too strong at 36 minutes into the game with a knockdown. For God's sakes, who's a late game monster. And Matuma Man gets lassoed again. The Mystic Flare, the Sonic Wave, he's got buyback, but it almost feels like that's the nail in the coffin. If he buys back, he's even further behind Loda. All of these abilities are going to be up again soon for Alliance. The lasso is a pretty short cooldown when you compare it to that of a Global Silence.
I mean, look at Loda. He just sends his illusion onto Fata, makes sure that he can't get in position, bothers him as much as possible. I don't believe they have a mech, unless I'm just really slow at clicking. Nope. So they've got no real way to survive the illusions after the initial burst from the Riptide. And that just makes leaving your base impossible, because then you're all in committed to a fight. You had to use your Phantom Lancer to buy back. At this point, it's just do or die for Team Liquid. I don't think you sit back and wait anymore. And I felt like that was initially a mistake, to just like kind of sit in your base and wait for them to assault you. You're always going to lose that, because the Batrider's initiation is going to be so strong.
They need a smoke wraparound or something like that, but maybe that's too obvious. They needed something, and they didn't find it. So they lose a set of racks. Sure, the game's not over yet. It feels over, but they are going to go for a Roche. This is a pretty obvious play, but one that Alliance is not noticing or they're not reacting to yet. And this is the smart play. Fun fact, this is the first Roche of the game at, you know, what, 37 minutes in. I guess it's not that uncommon with what heroes we have, but they will take it. Are they going to
get the song off? Loda's thinking about it.
He's a little far. If he had gone down in the river, he might have gotten it off, but now, is he going to use it anyways? Oh, they want to fight. Will they catch anybody? But Matuma Man's going to walk right into the song. I don't think they saw it coming. The snowball will come in. They want Bulldog. He does have that beautiful tombstone down. The global will come out. Matuma Man will take it down, but he's already taking so much damage. The Winter's Curse. Will that be enough? He gets forced away. I believe that was by S4. Matuma Man on the chase, looking for Bulldog on the backside. Loda cleaning up the supports, cleaning up Mind Control. Bulldog about to get right-click down. Mystic Flare zoning him out. Doppelganger will go again. Good Glimmer Cape, but they've got the vision. Minus, they have the gem. And Matuma Man will lose the Aegis. And they're going to grab him for a second time as well. There's enough mana for it and Snare. Will Doppelganger away, but he's just, it's not enough. There's the Blink forward. Shadow Strike as well. And the last to clean it up. This probably will be GG. He's dead for 93 seconds. They have complete access to this middle lane of racks. Yeah, that's it. There's not much else to say. Loda, what a monster.
Yeah, he actually played this game so incredibly well. And I mean, I know he copped some criticism overall sometimes, but he played so well throughout this. And what do you...
Some technical issues.
Just pan to us.
Yeah, hi. Don't even worry about what just happened. All that you need to know is that Alliance dominated. They dominated that game. And this was a team that got 0-2'd against Liquid. And Liquid looked like they might have been the best throughout the EU qualifiers up until this point. I think they went undefeated in their group. I might be wrong about that.
No, I think you're correct.
And then they what? They just get, you know, O2'd. They get brought down to the lower bracket, and now they're 1 game away from elimination, which is insane to me. This Liquid squad actually, you know, when they were 5 youngs, I thought, okay, you know, let's see what they could do. They're not doing anything too special just yet. But this EU qualifier run, they showed that they had a lot of tenacity. Alliance come out on top, though. I mean, this is the, you know, again, I don't want to say they're starting to look like their old selves, but that's a great game for them, Blitz.
Yeah, they played really well overall. I thought that Liquid, like you, I thought they were going to be one of the stronger teams coming in, and they proved that with how dominant they looked in their run through the qualifier so far. Then they ran into monkey business. It felt like 1 or 2 ill-timed fights, and it kind of feels like they've kind of lost a little bit more confidence than they should. But I'm going to credit Alliance more than anything. I thought their draft really made sense. They adjusted. You know, they put the Queen of Pain into a support role because they just wanted to be able to create space for Loda. So they grabbed the Bat Rider, kind of that, you know, self-sacrificing hero to make sure that he was going to have a good time. And it just kind of paid off. And Loda obviously played really well in that top fight. Overall, his game was pretty much flawless. I don't think he died in that game either. And all of his songs and his illusion control was really strong. So good game by them. Yep.
Alliance will take the game 1-0. It is a best-of-3 series, so they have a chance for Liquid to get back into it with a win in this next game. But with that, we will have a little bit of a quick break here. Thank you so much for joining us at the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios. Of course, my name is Mott. With me is Blitz. And we'll see you guys in just a little bit for game number 2.